In this release, we have 3 new features. The first feature is that you can now connect your Triggre application to web APIs and webhooks, like REST APIs and other things. We also made an improvement to our regional date time formats, which means that now if your application is hosted in the United States, you'll get the United States formatting of dates and times in your application. And if it's hosted in Europe, then you automatically get the European version of that. And finally, we made a small improvement to drag and drop on the page editor, which makes it easier to put an element on the top position. You can now connect Triggre to web APIs and webhooks, which you do by creating a flow part, such as, for example, a flow part to get a cat fact. And in your flow part, you now have a new action, and this action is under connection. And then you can choose webhook, and you can connect to webhooks, web APIs, REST APIs, all sorts of different interfaces. So simply add a URL, for example, this is a GET request. Doesn't require authentication, but you can set up, for example, basic authentication with username and password, or an API key, or bearer tokens, which are the most used authentication methods. We can add additional query parameters if you want to, if your interface needs that. This one does not. Same for headers. A couple of ones will already be added automatically, so you don't have to do that yourself. We even support cookie values. Hardly any interface actually requires this, but we built it anyway so that you can use them in case you need it. Then we check whether we get return data. In this case we do. We get JSON return data. And now we can edit the return data, and in this case what we get back is a custom item. And in that custom item, there are actually 2 things. There's a text, which is called fact. So that's the cat fact that we get back, right? We add it. And then the second thing that we get is a number. It's an integer, so a whole number, like -1, 0, 5. You can also use decimals, such as you can see, like 0.99 or 1.23. In this case, it's an integer, and it's called length, which is just the number of characters in the thing. Now, you can actually use whatever you want. Like, you can even leave out these values, and it will Triggre will just ignore them if they are sent. So you can just specify the ones that you need in your process. Now let's give it a name. Get fact. And there you go. And now you can use these values as part of your flow part. You can do something else with it. For example, add it to the outputs. You can see here in the data, you have your fact and your length, and you can start using it in your application. We now also have some changes into regional date time formats. So when your application is hosted in the US, you will get actually US time formats and date formats automatically. This one is hosted in the EU. So things like these dates, when you enter them, they will be formatted in the format that is sort of normal for your region. So in this case, if we add a test product, for example, all the values, such as here with the dates that you can select, but also in the tables, they will all be formatted according to your region. And in an upcoming release, we will actually add this to the settings of your application, so you can even change them yourself. And they won't just be based on your application's location in our data centers, but also you can set it yourself. We also now have made a very small but handy change to the editor here. Or if you drag an item, you can see sort of that we have it more specified where you can drop it, and this actually improves how you can drag and drop fields. It's a minor change, but it's much simpler now and handier to put a field at the top position.